Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's build, we are building this cute little cottage. It ends up being very blue and yellow, and if I remember correctly, on the inside there are some pops of orange as well, especially in like the living space, and then there's a bedroom for a child that ends up being very blue and orange as well. So I'm building on the lot Hindquarter Hideaway in Brindleton Bay. It is a 30 by 20 lot. This house ends up being 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms with an office. It ends up being 68,155 simoleons, and I did end up putting some lot traits for this lot. The 3 lot traits are bracing breezes, chef's kitchen, and great soil. I figured it would just be perfect for living out here kind of further away from some neighbors. Maybe you can just practice your cooking skill, or you just cook, every meal, because you are so far out kind of in the middle of nowhere-ish. And, you might as well just gain some cooking skill a little bit faster here. And it is nice to exercise in Brindleton Bay, I think. Your sim, if you have them go on a jog, often, especially at this lot, they end up going near the beach and near the pier. So I just thought that would be kind of nice. And then who doesn't want great soil? I do end up putting some planter boxes in the backyard here, so I figured it would be perfect for any sim that lives here and either wants to grow some fruit or vegetables or just some flowers. It would just be nice for them to have good quality stuff here. So like I mentioned, this house is 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. It's perfect for a family of 3. It could be for, a single parent or a single grandparent. I guess it doesn't have to be a parent, but I did build this house for 2 parents and 1 child sim. The bedroom upstairs is really good for a boy, I think. It's very, like I said earlier, blue and orange. There's lots of toys in that room, and I just think it's perfect for a little kid that loves to play with toys, which is perfect because out here there's like no neighbors. So, maybe they just entertain themselves with their toys. Here we are putting together the floor plan a little bit. I do end up raising these windows up just, 1 tile, I guess. I was kind of messing around with window heights recently in some of my other builds that I didn't even do videos on, just messing with houses that I already had basically. And I don't know, I like the height that I usually put my windows at. I don't know why I was messing around with it so much. I think there's just some YouTubers that I've watched their speed builds, and some windows work well. You can kind of put them more or less like in the middle of the wall. But these windows that are from the cats and dogs pack, I feel like just don't work well on a lower portion of the wall. So I do end up raising them. They look a little bizarre in my opinion. On the outside, they look just fine with the foundation and everything. But yeah, I do end up raising them. And I make this little cute patio area. It's like a covered patio, and I put some chairs out there. I think that's really all that makes it onto that little patio area. And then the front porch, there's literally just a rug. There wasn't really much space to put anything. I guess I could have put a plant or something, but I do landscape this pretty quickly, which I was quite impressed with myself, I will say, because if you guys have watched any of my previous builds, you know that I'm not a fan of landscaping. And I will say that a lot of my landscaping ends up looking just fine, or they look good, but it's just not my favorite. It's just not my forte. I feel like personally I'm not really good at it, but this build ends up looking cute in my opinion. I do create like a little backyard / side yard, and then there's a little side yard off to the left of the house as well. It's not fenced off or anything. The fence kind of stops like a portion of the way like behind the house, and then I put a wash tub, what is that even called? I mean, of course, when it comes to my speed builds, I'm like, all the words just fall out of my head, but I make a little laundry station outside and I I put a tree. Well, there's already a tree there, obviously, but then I do put an easel back there. I figured it would be nice for maybe whoever lives here to, they don't have to be a painter necessarily, but just, and they don't have to be artistic either, but let's just maybe, have them work on their painting skill a little bit. I just thought it would be really cute for the side of that part of the house. I don't know, since you're living out here in nature and you're on your own, and I would imagine it's very peaceful over here, I felt like it would be nice for a sim to, take their easel outside and just paint a little bit under the tree. This build, it shouldn't have taken me as long as it did, but I was really busy this week. I just started another job, so I used to work anywhere between like 3 to 4 days a week. Sometimes I would work like 4.5, but that was a lot for me. And I know that sounds crazy because I feel like especially anyone that lives in the United States, you typically, your quote unquote full-time job is 40 hours a week. And my quote unquote full-time job has always been 32 hours a week because I work at a dental office, and that's very normal for dental offices. A lot of the times, dental offices are not open 40 hours a week unless there's multiple dentists working there. But I work in an office where there's just one dentist, so we work 32-hour work weeks, if that. And I just recently got another job, so I worked Monday through Saturday. I was very busy, and I had another build kind of lined up to be ready-ish, but I didn't have a voiceover for it yet. And I started this build earlier this week, and I just really liked the way the floor plan turned out. I was impressed with my landscaping on this one, so I decided to bump this build up to be uploaded earlier than the one that I was originally planning on uploading, which will probably be next week's build. So if you guys are interested in having a Sulani vacation home, or vacation rental, I guess, then you'll definitely want to stay tuned for that one next week. But here we are moving on inside, and I wanted to put quite a few plants in this house. I don't think I end up necessarily overdoing the plants, which is never really my goal unless my sim is like just super into plants. But I just figured this place has decent lighting, so I thought let's put some plants in here. And that front little foyer area I felt like just looked so cute with the hanging plant and a little potted plant kind of raised up on that little stool. I believe that stool is from Jungle Adventure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. And then here I'm just trying to figure out cabinets. That corner cabinet, I always have trouble with it, and it doesn't attach and like clip to walls very well. So I was kind of struggling with that one a little bit. And I do clutter up the kitchen quite a bit. I wanted this house specifically, and especially this kitchen / dining room area, to have a lot of charm, a lot of character. I kind of imagined that this cottage was pretty old, but maybe parts of it have been redone. Like the paint is definitely, in my opinion, a little newer looking, like on the exterior, I mean. But this inside, I end up putting this wall here, and then I place some pillars there, and then I get rid of the wall, and we have this little cutout area where you can see into the dining room. And I just feel like that's kind of an older home thing. I'm sure there's newer houses that have that, but I've personally never seen that. So I thought it worked really well here, and I really liked the way this little area turned out and how this dining room is like a sunroom. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I did place that more like glass roof up here. So I feel like having a glass roof and then a hanging light from the ceiling is kind of weird, because then like you can see the light from the outside of the house, but it's like, is it really going to be attached to a glass ceiling? Probably not. But overall, I don't think it's that big of a deal. But at the same time, I was like, ooh, I might want to change that. But I personally feel like a dining room needs a light right above the table. I don't know. Tell me if you guys agree. But here I'm just cluttering up. I'm doing my last little bits of clutter here. I love this trick. I've been doing this for a long time now, where I place clutter on top of a fridge. I feel like a lot of people do that. especially on like this older, shorter fridge. I feel like it just works out really well. And then this basketball that I end up placing in the front entry near that backpack. So weird. So it's from the debug catalog, but once I was playtesting in here and taking screenshots and whatnot, that basketball, it like illuminates and makes like a noise like it's like one of the campfires, like it's on fire. It's so weird. If you guys know why that is, or if that's just a glitch in my game, I was like, what the heck? Like, I knew it was coming from the basketball because the basketball, like I said, was like illuminated. It was the weirdest thing. So I end up replacing it with just a soccer ball. So this lot ends up having 2 soccer balls, but yeah, one's in the front entry. I just kind of wanted to clutter it up a little bit. Like, you know, maybe the kid that lives here likes to play soccer or just is interested in sports in general. So there's a soccer ball there. Then there ends up being a soccer ball like in the backyard. But yeah, let me know if you guys know about the basketball from the debug catalog. That was the weirdest thing. But here we are moving on into the office. I do have this whole like blue and yellow theme going on. It doesn't really follow throughout the entire build, but overall I'd say every room either has blue or yellow in it at, you know, some point in it. So this ends up definitely being very blue and yellow. I think the walls end up being white, and then the curtains I place in here are, yep, blue and orange. And I do jump a little bit back and forth in this build. As you can see, I'm kind of cluttering up the kitchen here and there. I will say I have gotten better about that. I used to jump around way, way more in my builds, but I try to keep it in mind that it might make some people nauseous, and it's just kind of annoying. I guess I could edit my videos a little differently where it doesn't seem like I'm jumping around too much, but I'm just going to be real here. I jump around quite a bit. So here we are in the living room now. Again, very yellow and blue. Actually, this ends up being very yellow, orange, and blue. I think the walls, I end up doing the half paneled, half painted walls in here, and they're the orange swatch. And yeah, I've got these yellow curtains here. It ends up being very colorful, but I feel like the swatches and the different items that I use tie everything together really well. I end up using a rug in here. I forget where the rug is from. I feel like it's either City Living. You know what? It might be Strangerville. It's either Strangerville, City Living, or Paranormal Stuff. I had bought all those packs together like at one time. I think I did like one of the bundles. So I get all of those items confused because to me I got all of them at the same time. So I'm like, I don't even know. It's like one of those 3 packs, but I think I tied all these colors together really well. I don't know. You guys let me know. But I'm just cluttering up the wall a little bit. I have mentioned in some older builds that I just am not good at wall art. Like I just don't place enough, I feel like. And it ends up just being kind of plain, and I have all these boring walls. And to be honest, I don't always realize it because I just don't really think to put wall art. And then when I'm playing in game, I play with my walls like half down or whatever. So it's like half the time I don't even notice and like remember that I didn't place wall art until I go to do screenshots. And I'm like, ooh, we need to fix this because the people are not going to like this. So I've gotten better about that, and I will continue to be better about it. And I try my hardest. I think it's just like I use a lot of the same items a lot, especially when it comes to wall art and like clutter and shelving and things like that end up on the walls. But yeah, I just need to kind of go out of my comfort zone a little bit more. That way I can just effectively and efficiently add stuff to the walls more. It's just so boring to have a plain wall. So, yeah, I'm a little back and forth here. I realized, I was like, you know what, that office needs a rug. It just looked very, I don't know, there just wasn't enough going on. There was a lot of wood tones in there. And now we're upstairs kind of in this other little foyer hallway area, and I wasn't really sure what I wanted to place here. But since the child's bedroom ends up being kind of small, I was like, let's give them a little desk out here. They can do their homework here, write in their journal here, whatever. I end up making it very yellow once again, and we've got the blue wallpaper up here. So we're very on par with the blue and yellow theme here. We are in the child's bedroom now. I do this little trick where I raise this little seat here. So I kind of make this cute little window seat. And I at first placed a toddler bed, and then I was like, wait, we have a desk out there. And of course, your toddler will age up and become a child and be able to use that desk. But I was like, it doesn't really make sense to have the two combined at the time, especially like when I'm uploading it for you guys. So I end up switching it out to the child's bed, as you probably just saw. And I clutter up this room a bit. I kind of imagined, I didn't necessarily think of the people that were living here too much. I do make this room kind of, I guess, messy-ish or cluttered, but I just figured that this kid really likes to play with their toys. They're maybe more independent in that sense, like they don't really need much social interaction with other kids, so they just kind of entertain themselves and play with their toys. So I clutter up this little window seat here. I just figured it probably wasn't going to be very functional with all the crap that I put on the floor. So I was like, we'll just make it cute and make it seem like, oh, that's their little like play area, I guess. And I do place some posters on the walls. So here we are again, doing a good job with the wall art, Ashley. That's me clapping for myself. It's really stupid. I really wanted to put a dresser in here, but honestly, your Sims don't really need dressers. I do try to make my builds as realistic as possible, like placing dressers in every bedroom, but it didn't really fit too well there, so I was just like, it's not a big deal, whatever. It's kind of a smaller room anyway. Here we are moving on into, I was going to say the master bedroom, but it's not considered a master, I guess, if there's not an attached bathroom. So, I mean, I think that's what makes a master bedroom, right? So we just place a bed, some side tables, we place one dresser. I was considering placing two dressers because the wall that's next to the bed, not this one, but the opposite side, is kind of bare, but I end up placing two paintings there. So I just felt like it would be too bulky, and honestly, I'm pretty sure that your Sim wouldn't be able to get on that side of the bed if I were to have placed a dresser there. And you only need one dresser anyway. And like I said earlier, you actually don't really need a dresser. But I was like, we are placing a dresser in this house. Sorry, it's happening. And then now we are onto the bathroom. We are moving right through this thing. I am so impressed. Oh my gosh. Like usually like I said earlier, I usually jump around, and yeah, I'm glad I actually knew what I was doing in this build. But here we are just kind of putting together the upstairs bathroom here. I really wanted to place a tub in here, like a clawfoot tub, but I felt it was going to be too close to the sink. And then if I were to put it on this other wall, it would be weird with where the door was. And then I wasn't sure where I was going to put a toilet. And honestly, I almost forgot to put a toilet in here. I was like, oh shoot. So then I put it right there. But yeah, that's pretty much the inside. And then we're moving on to the little back patio porch. I feel like a porch is meant for the front of the house, and a patio, it's more of the wording for the backyard. So doing this little patio here, placing some outdoor lighting and just making it look all nice and illuminated for the nighttime. Place a little rug, and now we're going to be just kind of making the backyard more functional and give the Sims that live here some activities for the outside. So I place a grill, a little place for them to sit and eat. If they just decide to have dinner outside one night or have a party or whatever it may be. I place the little farming thing. I think I end up placing crickets in here or something, but okay, we're getting up on the screenshots. Wow. Okay, great. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe so you're aware of when I upload builds in the future, and I will see you in another build. Bye.